Hello everyone, welcome back to Galaxy Crafts. Thank you so much for being here. Today I'm going to do some jars in Resin Crete. I haven't worked with this much. It is really good though. I love how versatile it is. The recommended mixing ratio is actually a 10 to 3, so if you're doing 100 grams of powder, you want to do 30 grams of water. As an example, as you can see, I don't measure it out. I go by the consistency because if you mix it to the recommendations, to me it's too thick and it doesn't pour well into molds if you're trying to get it into something that's thinner, especially if you're doing anything more intricate. It is giving. It'll take a little longer to cure, but it doesn't take that long to begin with. So I will speed this up here in just a minute for you because you don't want to sit here for 5 minutes watching me mix white powder with water. So, but I am keeping it in just so you can see that I am just playing with it to get hopefully the right amount and the right consistency that I would like it to have. And here it's sped up, and I may or may not put any music in this video. A couple videos back got flagged simply because of the fact that there was music in there that apparently was copyright hit. So everything I use in my music I got off of my editing software, so I assumed it was okay to use. Apparently this one was not. So in the last videos, in that video, I think it was, I want to say it was video 14. It's the one with the little kitty cat pen holder, pen rest that I did. Anyways, the first song, I just had him cut it out. I didn't want to repost it or anything like that and lose what views I had on it. So I just had him cut that section out with that song. The video is still there, it just doesn't have the music to it. So that is an option on YouTube if you ever run across that. In order to fix it, it did pop up with a little box that says you can take action, and it'll give you the option to cut it out or replace it with something YouTube approves. To change that. So that is the option there if you don't want to take your video completely down and then repost it and lose the views you had on it. So after I got done mixing, I'm going to try to marble this. And I'm marbling it with blue, green, and purple. And I've seen this done by a few people that work with the eco pours. And it usually turns out really pretty. This is the first time I've attempted this. The colors I am using are the Resin Crete pigments designed for this particular medium. So they are highly pigmented. I have not had a chance to really play with these pigments because this is only the second or third time I've used the Resin Crete. So, and I got the dyes after, so I think this is the first time I've actually used these colorings. So before I tried coloring it with, I don't remember if it was mica powder or alcohol ink or resin pigment. Either way, it doesn't work near as well. So I'm just swirling it to try to get it to marble a little bit and emptying it in there. And sorry, everything's in the way, but the camera's right above my station, so it's kind of hard to get a good angle for you. And of course, I didn't have enough. Go figure. So I'm going to mix up some more and again try to get it to the right consistency and quantity because, you know, who knew when you add water to powder it shrinks it. No, I knew that, and like I said, I haven't used Resin Crete that often, so it's judging how much I really need is really just kind of put some in and mix it, and if I think I need more, I add it. So it takes a good solid few minutes to get the right, what I think is the right amount and the right consistency. So and of course I'm just kind of lifting and dropping the mold just to get any air bubbles out of the rim, because I don't want bubbles in it, and adding in the coloring again to get that extra marble effect in there. I noticed the blues and purples tend to sink a little more, so I keep wanting to add more, so I'm really not sure why that is, but most likely they're just a heavier pigment. I don't know. But I just topped this off, and I'm just kind of squishing it around a little bit to get that to settle and get any of the air bubbles that are in there. And then I just am going around the edge with a toothpick. I'm being careful not to push too hard to scrape the inside of my mold. This is the first time I've used these molds. I've had most of my molds I've had for a long time. I just haven't gotten around to using very many of them because I haven't made very many videos and whatnot for you. Hopefully that's changing. I'm getting a little more active with it again. Oh, crap, I didn't think about that. So yes, I did try to mix new with the existing, which had the pigment coloring in it. So, of course, I just went with it. So I ended up, I just ended up coloring the whole thing, mixing it all together as a blue, and then I marbled with the other colors. So it ended up turning out all right. So I'm not too unhappy with it. So is everybody enjoying their spring? I did these videos I actually recorded, oh gosh, several weeks ago. I'm just now getting around to editing. I did, several videos, and I'm spacing them out so I can get them edited and give me a little more time to get back in the swing of things and get a schedule down better that I can make myself stick to. So it is actually June 11th today that I'm doing this voiceover, and so yeah. Am I the only one that finds myself trying to move my head or shift my body angle to see what's going on the screen when our hands get in the way of the videos, knowing full well it's not going to make a difference? Even on my own videos, I'm finding myself trying to strain my head to see around the edge to see what's going on. I hope I'm not the only one that does that, but if I am, oh well. But anyways, yeah, so I don't know, those of you who have allergies, if you had a bad allergy season, I live in Oregon, so usually my allergies are pretty bad. So far this year, I didn't have too many problems until last night. We had a thunderstorm come through with a big downpour of rain, and I was thinking, oh, this is going to be great. It's going to settle all the pollens. It cooled things down so I could open up my doors and not have to run my air conditioner as much. No. Oh my goodness, I have had massive sneezing fits ever since. So I don't know what it did, but it definitely stirred something up. So Here you'll see I'm just doing the extras. My previous videos, I haven't left the extras in. I do extras because I don't want to waste my resin or whatever I'm using. But I thought I'd leave this one in this time. These little butterfly molds, they are so tiny. But I have 2 molds of them. I got one and it was so cute. I had to get another one. I think I got them off of Temu. Not sure if you can still find them, and if you can, they're more expensive now. So I'm not sure that it's something you'd want to look into. I have realized that cleaning up Resin Crete is not fun on teeny tiny molds. So I may not do the Resin Crete with these small molds again, simply because it was a mess, as you can see. So I did try to clean them up as best I could, but I kind of found that the more I tried to clean it up, the more I was just pulling the material out of the mold that I wanted left in there. It wasn't working very well. So, but I really love these little butterflies. They're so tiny and they're so cute. So, and hopefully I'll find a use for them. This one is little tiny roses. So, and I should have put instead of coloring air, because now it's just kind of gray. I should have just put some more pigment in there and made it all a solid color, but it is what it is. So I think I was hoping that I was just going to get some more of the marbling, not realizing that, you know, I'm sitting there mixing it. But as you can tell, I very quickly gave up trying to do individual ones because it just was not working. That little clear one that I just put in there, it is an absolute perfectly clear mold, and it's itty bitty teeny tiny turtles. They are so adorable. So that is something that I may just make a batch of them with UV resin, because that mold is perfect for UV resin. It is absolutely on a perfectly clear. But they are so cute, and you got to make sure that I didn't do it with this because the Resin Crete was starting to set up and I didn't think it would really help, so that's why I was just smashing it in with my stick. But normally I'll take the tip of a micro brush and I'll just pull the cotton piece off of it and use the plastic and just poke in to the little legs in the head and tail, because and the same with butterflies, I'll poke into those too to try to get the holes out, because it is really easy to get holes on the tips of those little tiny spots. So if you ever end up with those, I believe all 3 of these molds, these little tiny ones, I got on Temu, either Temu or Shein or AliExpress, one of those, I'm not sure which. As you can see, that Resin Crete is already set on that stick. So it was pretty much gone. So as you can see, I left the extra Resin Crete just to cure in the cup and then smashed it up. You can use those flakes and put them in with your mix if you want to do the chorizo. I haven't done it. I figured I might as well save my pieces in case I want to try it. But I will get some of these out. I'm starting with the extras just to show you. And they do not stay put. They're so small. I drop them every single time I pick them up. And I inserted just a screenshot that I took to hopefully give you a better view of what it looked like there. I don't have pictures at the end of these because they're just so tiny. But They're so cute. One of these days when I do them with resin and they're a better color and look nicer, I can do that if that's something you would like to see. But yeah, it was a cleanup process when I got done with these molds from just scraping everything over. So it wasn't too bad, but I did have to do a lot of cleanup. So it's probably not, again, it's not something that I will probably do again with a Resin Crete, but with these tiny molds. But it was fun to do it just to see how they turned out. So. And of course, there's Resin Crete dust from the products on my hands and that's coming off of the mold, not the actual piece itself. That's solid. It's just the dried bits that was left over on the mold is so fine that it just is crumbling into the powder. So. Yeah. So I gave up. I wasn't going to make you sit there and watch me demold every single one of those because it was going to take a little bit. But I just did a few of them to find one that was, basically I was trying to find one that was a good specimen. Yes, I just dropped it and gave up. I did pick it up afterwards. Find one that was a decent specimen to really give you a good showing of that. So I will go on and demold those. I have a bunch of these little things still already, just from using these little molds in a few videos I used them with. So now we're on to the main event, and this first one I did leave the sounds from the demolding in for you. Didn't know if you'd like to hear that, but I did it anyways. And I am so sorry, the lighting is terrible on these. I'm not sure how long I left them. I can't remember if I left them overnight or not, just to make sure they were fully hardened. But generally with the Resin Crete, it's good to demold within an hour to probably an hour. If it's something very thin, I would recommend giving it a couple hours just to make sure it's good and solid before you try to demold it so it doesn't break. But with, flat pieces where you don't have to try to, turn it out of the mold like these jars, you're good to take them out probably in a half an hour, an hour. But use your judgment. Like I said, I don't remember how long I left them. I know I gave them quite a bit of time because I wanted to make sure they didn't break when I took them out. And yeah, the lighting is terrible on this. The pictures I have at the end will show you the coloring better, but I was really pleased with how they turned out. It was more layered than marbled, but that has a lot to do with how I poured it. So I will have to experiment again sometime and see if I can get a better look on that. But anyways, so that's about it on those. Thank you so much for watching. Here's some pictures for you. I want to say thank you to my subscribers. I just checked before I started this, and I'm up to like 52 or 3 subscribers, which is to me amazing because I think I only had 10 or 15 before I started posting these last few videos. So I greatly appreciate you joining, and please like this video if you think it deserves it, and I hope you have a great day.